I'm obviously feeling good anytime you come off of a win in the playoffs. But at the same time, I think it's very, very businesslike. We feel good about winning the game on the road here and giving ourselves a 2-1 lead in the series. But I know that our team can play better, and we're going to have to play better. So that's our focus. Today's a bit of a recovery day for the team, but certainly as we get into tomorrow, we're looking to get our team playing even better.
Sheldon, how important is it to keep your foot on the gas? Because when you're going up against, especially against a two-time defending champion, you can't give them any kind of life or breath or anything like that.
Yeah, for sure. That's sort of what I'm talking about. I mean, we like a lot of things we did in the game last night, but I look at it, I still see a ton of things that we can do better as a team, things that we can do better as individuals. So that's our focus, is to continue to build. It's still early in the series here, and through 3 games, you've got a pretty good indication, a pretty good feel for your opponent, and they of us, I'm sure. But I still think that we haven't played our best hockey. I think we can still be better.
Coming back from his injury, where do you think Michael Bunting's at here, just getting back up to speed?
Well, I think in terms of the injury, I think he's fine. I don't think there's any issues there. I think it's coming back from an injury, and then you're also coming in and you're playing in the playoffs for the first time. Especially when you're going to play on that line, it's not easy. It's not easy minutes. So I thought that line had a hard time last night. I thought it got better once we made the change. So we'll look to start that way tomorrow. But Bunce he's an important player for us. Obviously scored a big goal for us in Game 2. And I think he'll just continue to get better the more reps he gets.
What is it about Kerfoot that he seems to elevate in the postseason? He did last year, and he seems to be on his game.
Yeah, I think Kerf's a very competitive guy. He's very responsible. He's very good in all areas of his game, and I think that translates really well to this time of year. His details, his habits are good, and those don't change. At times, like last night, he made a bit of a mistake there in the second period on the penalty kill, and that doesn't change who he is. We give him an opportunity then to move up in the lineup after that and do a good job. And it seems like whatever line he's on improves. And why it seems like he raises his game in the playoffs, I don't know. I don't know if it's raising his game or if it's just continuing to play his game despite the fact that it gets harder. So whatever it is, we like it, and he's an important guy for us.
Did he talk to him about that mistake, or just he knows he made one mistake?
It was very obvious that he knew. He was well aware of it. I talked to him before the third period began, just about kind of shaking it off, but more so just I needed him to go help that line, and they were going to face a tough matchup, and I needed him to have a good third period for us.
Alex seems to be the template for the kind of player you really, really like. A Swiss Army knife can play many positions. And you guys got a few of those guys. Right? Engvall can kind of do that. Blackwell. How important is that kind of player, not just in the playoffs, but just in general?
Really important. I mean, you've got, obviously we have our stars, our real, difference makers, and they get a lot of attention for good reason. But when you're building a team, you need to be able to have a diverse team of guys that can do different things, and different types of players. And then within the season, even when you slot somebody in their, you have your lineup and you slot everybody in what you think is ideal for your team. But hockey happens, mistakes happen, games go up and down, injuries happen, whatever it is, matchups. So you need to be able to move people, and you need depth to be able to do that. But your depth has to be versatile, or you're really locked in to a lot of different things. When I look at our team last season, we lost John early in the playoffs, and I thought we were, Kerf elevated and did a great job for us in that spot, but we were really limited and locked into a lot of other spots that didn't allow us a great deal of flexibility. This season, I think, because of the camps and caches and buntings and the development of Engvall, having Kerf back again, adding Blackwell, like there's added versatility to the group, no doubt, and we've taken advantage of that all season.
It's early in the series.
How do you get an offensive-minded player like Nylander to buy into his defensive assignment such as that last night?
Well, I think it's just understanding that you've got to be good both ways, and especially in the playoffs, when you're playing against, one of the top teams in the league, and obviously anytime you get in the playoffs, you're going to play against, the top 16 teams in the league are all that's left, and then certainly in our case, we're facing the back-to-back champs. So the depth that they have, it's going to create some challenges, and you got to play both sides. It's not just Will, it's Austin, it's Mitch, it's our guys on the other end of it. You talk about Camp, who's so great defensively. Well, there's going to be times he has to step up offensively, that side of it. And he did that last night, scoring us a huge goal. So it's just what it takes is both sides. There's a level of intensity required on both sides of the puck in order to succeed, and that goes for all of our players.
Given the matchup those guys are getting, is there a way that they can get more time in the offensive zone?
You're talking about?
Yes, there.
Yeah, I mean, last night because we had such a lead, I think the game was a bit of a strange one for us in that sense. I thought we had some really excellent offensive zone time, maybe some of our best offensive zone time in the series in the first half of the first period last night. And there were some times we had some trouble getting out of our end and it caused some problems. And then from there, against a team like that, if you don't get out of your zone, within certainly the first 10 seconds, if not quicker than that, they're going to gain control. They're going to spread you out, and it's going to be really hard to get out. And then from there, you're pretty much putting yourself into a position where now we're containing and trying to not give up the slot and give up a high danger chance. So we were in that mode a lot last night, especially in the second half of the game. So it took away from a lot of our offense. Our focus has got to be on exiting quickly. Both teams are trying to accomplish the same things. We're a lot to handle when we get by that 10-second threshold or so. Usually wear you down, and we're in control of play. They're very, very similar and as good as any team in the league, or certainly in the top tier of the league in that regard. So it's a big challenge for us defensively.
Sheldon, Cooper said that he's not worried about scoring goals on you guys. What do you think about that?
I mean, I'm sure it's just his way of being confident and showing belief in his team. I think if I was in his position, I would say a similar thing.
He was asked about specifically Jack Campbell and getting to him, and he said, we scored 7 in the last 2, so that's not an issue for him. But I'm wondering how you feel about how Jack has handled what Tampa has done.
Well, I think last night was a great indication, of how he's playing. He's confident. He believes in himself. Even times when it looks like he's beat, he finds ways to keep the puck out. He's tracking it really well. It's the playoffs. Teams are going to try to make it hard on the goaltenders. We're trying to do the same thing in the other end. But Jack's feeling good right now. We got to continue to do a better job of limiting chances and trying to help Jack out. He certainly, both goaltenders for that matter in the third period last night, you could say are game-saving type saves, right? I mean, if Matthews scores on his breakaway or the rebound there right after, or then Marner hits, crossbar post right after that, if that goes in, they probably don't have much of a push the rest of the way. Vasilevsky keeps them in, and then they score shortly after, and then Jack makes a couple of game-saving saves for us down the stretch. Goalies are battling back and forth. It's been great to see Jack stand in there.
Did you get what you want switching Justin and Timothy?
I thought that a big reason why Liljegren got the upper hand on starting the series was the chemistry between he and Giordano that they had displayed down the stretch of the regular season, and that was a big part of it. But in the first couple of games, that pairing didn't go so well as it had. So in that end of it, especially coming off of a tough night for the penalty kill, you want to get Hall involved. And I thought he did help on the penalty kill. I thought he did some good things in the game. There's a couple mistakes inside there that we need him to do a better job on, and our forwards can help the cause as well. But to go directly to your question, I would say, yeah, I thought Justin went in and gave us a good game, but we got to try to limit a couple of the mistakes that hurt us a bit last night.
Sheldon, we're conditioned to tight checking, low scoring games in the playoffs, but we really haven't seen the league wide for the most part. Any thoughts on why they need more offense and everything else has kind of been there early on this year?
Hard to say. I mean, obviously the amount of special teams is, I'm sure, has been a factor here. I haven't followed the other series close enough to see how much goal scoring has been happening, or whether that's just the disruption of flow has helped help the games and sort of broken down teams defensively. Maybe it's just a continuation of the trend in the regular season at the same time, where there was an uptick in offense in the regular season. So I don't know. There's not. I wouldn't have the answer for certain on that, other than to say that it's also early, and I think teams are in each series, I'm sure, are still adjusting to each other, still adjusting to the playoffs, adjusting to the officiating and how the games are being called. So we're certainly going into every game prepared for it to be extremely tight.
You watch the other series on your off night, or you just solely?
I surf around a little bit. When we have an opportunity to. Yeah, I'm not usually watching games front to back or anything like that, but you're bouncing around and trying to keep it idea. It's a good way to kind of wind down the evening.
Sheldon, some of the guys are saying they've noticed Jack is more talkative than other goalies they play with, just in between during games. Like, have you picked up on that at all?
Not so much myself. I mean, but I have, with the defensemen, I know they have talked about that. Dean talks about it. Steve Briere, values it, and you have someone like Jack, who is, he's an upbeat guy and has energy and all that. You want to use that to your advantage when it comes to communication. So that is, a good thing to hear, and it's a good thing to have. It helps make things a lot easier, especially. I mean, there has been some chatter on our bench about the importance of talking on the ice, just because. I mean, the playoffs, things are pretty chaotic. I mean, it's 60 minutes of noise. It's loud, and you got to sort through that. You got to play through that, and when you're in proximity to communicate, it helps, because a lot of times you don't have time to see what's happening, because the play's close so fast. And what you think might be there maybe isn't. So any help you can get from any of your teammates is helpful. And in a lot of cases, the goaltender sees the whole game. So that's a good positive thing to have.
Is there a reason you would point to why everyone who plays with TJ seems to really play well? Or is there something he does specifically?
He cleans up a lot of mistakes and makes very few himself. I think that's the, he manages the puck well. He rarely turns it over. Positionally, he's in good spots. He doesn't take too many chances to put himself in bad situations. And when his partner or the forwards make a mistake, he has the ability to clean it up with good reads and good sticks and break up plays.